Good evening. How are we this evening? I didn't do any posts, apologies about this, but as we do it every Wednesday, so hopefully some people will join us. I've put together from your suggestions some prompts for me to play with tonight. There were some that I really wanted to do, but I was on a limited timescale to get things together, so I managed to find ones that I could easily lay my hands on so that I could... Evening everybody. Mara, Maxine, hello, how are you? Julie? Right, so I have done 6 prompts, and so thank you for your suggestions, but there are some there that I definitely want to do. Sarah had suggested one colour and only black and white, and I've kind of done a twist on that because I've taken my paste papers, still working through them. I've got some all blue ones here, so I could work with them. And I've also got some different coloured ones here. So we're going to work on all of those. And then as we come towards the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make them up into a star book. I haven't done a star book for ages, and I do really love them. So, so yeah, we'll have a go with doing that. So hello everybody. Hope you're well. Right, so I'm going to flick, apologies for the handwriting, I'm going to flick to the overhead camera and read through what ones I picked. And these are ones I could lay my hands on. So if I roll a number 1, I have to use an elastic band. Number 2, I have to add fabric. 3 bottle cap, 4 beads, 5 bleach, 6 paint with bubble wrap. And I have a tray of gubbins which should accommodate all of these. So not best dice. It's from a really old set of Cluedo. I've got some old board games to alter up, and I managed to nick a dice. I did want to use our big giant one that we have for the giant snakes and ladders, but unfortunately it's a bit too big to fit on the counter. So let's get started. So I am going to, what I've done is I've pre-cut some of these up. So I've got a set of blue ones. So these are all ones you'll recognise. That has got some foiling on it, just because I was messing about with the glue pen. So I've done 5. These are cut slightly smaller because they're from smaller pieces, okay? But whatever we do, we'll do to a few of them until we get them all filled up. Yeah, in terms of temperature, again, sorry, I know you can probably hear the fan, but it's either that or melt. Right, so let's roll the dice and see what we're going to... Right, number 4. So I'm going to incorporate beads in some way. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do it in the normal boring way. Let's do something fun with them. So I'm actually going to do this on these 5. So I'm going to put those 5 aside for a minute. I might do it on those in a minute and have these ones out. So I've got some beads. Now, because I want to do a star book, these beads are too big. They're not going to work. But I still want to follow the prompt. So I thought, what other way could we use beads? That's not going to fit in that. I'm going to have to use one of my silver trays. Bear with me. Just going to grab a silver tray. And I am going to put my pieces of paper in the bottom. So we'll do the 3 green ones first. Okay. And I'm going to take some of these, obviously real family pearls, off here. I've got some sort of chunkier beads, and I've got a crocheted bead as well. That's a really cool one. So, I'm going to use these in a slightly different way. And do I want to stick to black and white? Yeah, I might stick to black and white. No, I'm not. I'm going to have colour. So, haven't changed the paints under the counter. So we've got these ones. Right, let me just open these. So we've got our poppy, our lime, and our orange. And I don't know how I'm going to do this. Yeah, with fingers probably. Because, yeah, I'm going to just tip a little bit out on the table. And I'm just going to drop that bead into it. Okay, I'm going to take that bead and I'm going to put it in the tray like that. I'm going to do a little bit of pink. So we better roll a number in a minute. It's going to use paint, otherwise we've got paint everywhere. Okay. Come on. This isn't the most sensible way of doing it, but hey, it's the most fun. Oh, that was a bit much. I thought I'd got a spoon up here, and I've got a fork. Because yeah, forks are great for putting paint back in pots. Although actually they're quite good for pushing beads around in it. Right, so we're going to get some orange on our little crochet one. And we're going to put him in that corner. And then let's have the bit of the random shape one. Where's my towel? Where's my towel? Let's try not to get completely and utterly filthy straight away. And this is why I've already helped Paul load the van, because I didn't really want paint all over everything. Right, we're going to put that in that corner. And then we're just going to start rolling them around. Get that going down there. Kind of like that crochet one. Right, so happy with that one. Gonna put this one in now, add some more colour. Put him in there, roll. I've gone to fingers. It's easier to wipe my fingers. And he didn't roll as well. Might put him in individually. Right. Oh. Do like that texture from the crochet one. I think the square one's struggling a bit. Come on, there he goes. Yeah, happy with that. Whoop. Let me just make sure, right, get that one out. That hasn't got much lime green on it. Let's put some more lime green. Okay. So you can do this with marbles, but I love the randomness of it. Okay. Happy with that. Right, so we've got two more to put in. We've got our blue one. I'm going to do these ones individually, and I'm going to change up the bead. I'm going to add in another round one. And because the pink had a funny shape one, because obviously the funny shape ones will roll about a bit more randomly. Okay, so just throw them on the paper, and you could just push them around with your hand, but it's a bit more fun like this, and you just get really interesting patterns. Yeah. And last one. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is on my other ones I might do some black and white. Add some orange, add some pink. What haven't I had yet? Lime green. So you can just roll them around like this, but I say, where's the fun in that? So obviously if you go side to side you get a fairly straight, but and I'm doing this over a coloured background. You could do this over plain white just for interest. So you just get that randomness. So I'm going to put those to one side for a second and grab the others, and I'm just going to go black and white, and I'm only going to go with one bead for speed because we want to do multiple things to each of these before we add some finishing touches. Okay, put that over there. So I just wanted, and what I might do is on these blue ones, I might just do, let's roll the dice 5 times and have 5 different things, hopefully, might get the repeat. So each one of these is just going to have one of these done on them. So I am going to, didn't think this through, did I, of putting the paint out on there, but we might need it in a minute, so we'll leave it out for now. Whoop. So they're in a roll. Right, so I'm going to go white for this, and then I'll do a different bead in black. So let's put a little dollop of white in the corner there. That was a more logical thing to do, wasn't it? So get him nice and covered in white paint and put it down and try and be a little bit more controlled with it. These aren't the best trays because they've got a rough texture, but I say for limited time and you see you can get some really nice patterns going. Okay. Just takes it out of your hands, so you never really know what kind of effect you're going to get, which is nice when you're trying to just stretch your imagination. And I want to do one in black. Hope this isn't a loaded dice, by the way, because this could be very boring. So let's get a bit of black in that corner. That was such a much more logical way of doing it. Oh, well, never mind. Okay. And because these are paste papers, they have sort of ridden up a little bit in places, but that's fine because that helps a bit of randomness as well. Golf ball would be cool for this. I'm just looking over there. I can see a golf ball. Okay. Right. Sorry, that was a bit off camera. So you just got that randomness. Really nice. This is really good. England match. Oh, is there an England match? Sorry. Oh, it's also Wimbledon as well, isn't it? Is it still Wimbledon? I don't know. I've lost track of all time. To be fair, Wednesday came around really quickly. Okay, so that's our first number done. And we've made a mess already. Okay, let's put that to one side. Anybody see my dice? Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's roll again. 4, we've just done that one. 5, bleach. Okay. So, easiest and safest way to use bleach is make a bleach ink pad. Whoa. Okay, so put some bleach onto your pad. Just be careful if you're using it neat. By all means, water it down. Okay. Just keep rolling it over. Oh, England won. That's fine. That's what we like. Okay, so I've now got a bleachy ink pad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stamp and I'm going to ink it up with the bleach. Now this will not work on every surface. Some surfaces, let me move up a bit so you can see what I'm doing, will be colour fast. But as you can see, our homemade paste papers aren't. I am going to try it onto the black card as well, but I don't think this black loses its colour, but we'll find out in a minute. And by using the ink pad, you get a much more subtle effect because you're not applying too much. I do tend to try and avoid splattering and things like that with bleach, just because you don't want to get it somewhere where it's going to do damage to surfaces or anything like that. So try and be sort of mindful when you're using bleach. And if you have made an ink pad up with it, by all means label it. Again, I would wash this out though. Good way of cleaning your stamps as well. But I love that because it kind of appears like magic. I am going to do some of this on those others as well, hoping the paint will have dried. Look how stark that's come out. The more it dries, the more the bleach reacts. I am going to test it on a little bit of black card, and I'm going to do a couple of these. I'm going to do a blue one and a green one. might change up my stamp. I'm going to go to, so that was the vine from Floral Creations. I'm going to go to one of the flowers from Floral Creations now as well, because I think a flower might be quite nice. And I'm going to just do a couple of them. Another way of using bleach is actually put some into your water brush and then heat emboss, and then you know, use your bleach to remove the colour. Okay, just think that's really nice, especially because the paint won't react to it, but the paste paper underneath, the paste we made, because that was ink, will. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to do the green. You can see it's just quite subtle. If your pad starts to dry up, you can re-ink it just with a little bit more bleach. But I am going to try, don't know if I'm going to use them, I'm going to try some craft card, and I'll try the black card. Just be mindful of your clothes and stuff. That's why using it on an ink pad is such a safer way of doing it. Oh, that's come out really bold. Just gives this really nice look. Okay, went over that. Take that paint off. We'll go onto that corner as well. So it just gives a really nice look. If I wanted to, I could go on with the vine, or I could come in with this little flower. Again, by using the sponge, the ink pad sponge there, it means that you're not getting too much bleach on the bed of your stamp. So you're actually getting a nice clear impression of it. You know, it just gives a real sort of tie-dye, almost a batik look, I suppose. Right, so that's that one. That's the one we just did. I might add some flowers to that as well, just while I've got the bleach. Just because I can. I've got to keep an eye on the time, because it's going to take me a few minutes to show you how to make the book. Right, if you're like me and you can't remember where you stamped, just give it a minute and it will appear. So here, I thought I did one down, there it is. You can just see it start to appear. Okay. What did I say? I was going to do something else. No. Bleach, bleach, bleach. Yep, that's all. Oh, I was going to try it on craft card and on a bit of black card. I don't want to use that black card because I've got plans for that, so I'm just going to take a little scrap here. I don't know whether this will, just test. Not all colours of not all coloured card will react with bleach, but I think that one is going to. Yeah. That's kind of cool. It gives a really sort of aged look to it. So I am going to do... So experiment with your cards. It really does depend how the card is coloured. But you do get a really cool look. I am going to, see, that's really cool, isn't it? I'm going to test the craft card, and I am going to take one of these pieces obviously as you stamp it down it's wet, so it looks like it's doing something, but actually it's a very, very subtle. I really like that. So this is just on craft card. So experiment. Okay, but I am going to grab, now this stack of card I've got here underneath is for what I'm going to be using to make the star book with later. So I am going to just do one panel with the bleach. I think it's one of those things we forget about, isn't it, Carol? But I say, you just, obviously it is a chemical, and where you have to be careful is be aware of what your ink pads are that you are using alongside it. Because obviously we have solvent based ink pads, your StazOn and things like that. You have your alcohol markers. Just be aware that obviously bleach reacts with some things. We know you don't mix cleaning agents and stuff. So just stick to something that you know is safe. So just a piece of card is fine, but don't then go in with your alcohol markers until the bleach is fully dry and there's no chance of any kind of reaction. It's just, you have to be aware. All the warnings are on your bleach. Okay, so that's bleach. So where's my dice? Let's get some more bits going. So let's roll the dice again. So I think I'm going to go for 2 more things. So number 2, add fabric. So I have some scraps of fabric here. I've got some silk and I've got some blue stuff with embroidery, and I have got some of my double-sided adhesive sheet. Now you could use double-sided tape for this, but I'm just going to use this for a minute, and I'm cutting it into strips. Okay, because I could obviously stitch. It's great with oxide, yeah, because oxides are safe to use because they're a water-based ink and they are designed to react to things. Do they, it would be lovely if you could post some pictures, do they come out with other colours? So we saw on the brown, the black, it went brown. Where we'd used the normal inks, they'd gone white. It'd be interesting to see if the oxides do anything funky. So I'm just peeling off the back of my adhesive, and I'm going to lay, finger sticky. I knew I wouldn't need the paint if I left it out on the table. Right, so sticking a bit to there. I'm going to stick a bit to, obviously I would be normally doing this in bigger bits, but I'm going to just cut that down a little bit. It's just so that we've got something to play with. So putting this down, and this could be any scraps of fabric. These were just ones I happened to find. So time was a bit limited. I had to help load Paul's van for tomorrow, and I'm off to go and help at a school event, manning the Crazy Golf. So I'm cutting this close to the tape. So as you probably guessed, I'm going to make myself some fabric tape, because then that's easier to work with. Okay, trimmy. These are my best scissors. Oh, they are not too bad. I'm going to leave this with a little bit of a raw edge because I kind of like that. Right. Somebody pale pink. Yeah, because I suppose sometimes you notice with bleach, I suppose it's just experimenting, but you know with your distress oxides it's a safe one to experiment with because they are water based. Right, so I've got these with some sticky on now. So I kind of like the blue to go on the blue. And I'm going to choose this blue because do you remember this was the one we did with the rolled up cardboard that gave it like that kind of rosy look. So I'm just going to cut this into some little lengths and we're going to have it come in sort of out like that. I'm going to regret peeling the backing, taking that edge off. I've got a really weird split thumbnail at the moment. It's kind of got a V shape in it. I've obviously squished it at some point. There's me all. Just need to get a start on this. So you could do any shape with your fabric, but using it like a washi tape is kind of nice. Actually, I think I'm going to regret doing this. I knew I'd regret doing that. Oh, I'm going to put just some different lengths of fabric just coming up there. It's got a nice texture and it's got an embroidery to it. I think this is going to need something else on it, this one, but we'll deal with that in a minute. We'll do 2 more prompts and then decide what we, decide if some of them need anything else. I think this one might do because it's just a little bit blue on blue, but I don't know, that might be nice because it's different textures. Bit of that. Okay, so that's got some fabric on. Where's this one? I thought this looks quite nice on here. Again, I think I'm going to cut it into different lengths. And I might do some stamping on this fabric. Might do that before I peel it off. So I'm just using, hello. Just, so you can, if you know it's not going to be washed, you can use any old ink on this. I could stamp words onto here, I just haven't got any word stamps with me. So I think I'm just going to add that. Just like washi tape, so use it a bit like washi tape. And I think this looks quite nice because we've got that sort of colour already in there. Really got no idea where I'm going with this. This is just totally getting you randomness, but I've got some ideas sort of mulling in my brain. I tell you what I wouldn't have done normally is cut the leading edge off this when I haven't got much nails. Okay, that'll do. So I'm going to bring that in from that side. Interesting textures, but I have got some little flowers and things I can add later. Okay, right, so 2 more prompts. Right, dice. So we're either on in a 1, a 6 or a 3. No, 4. 6. Paint with bubble wrap. Right. Bubble wrap. Okay. Gonna take one of my blue ones and we're gonna add a bit of green. And I'm just literally screwing this up. And I'm really going over the top with that. Gonna let that dry. And then I'm gonna put some white out because I haven't got enough paint on my mat. That's my watered down white, not that it matters. Move my bubble wrap around. I'm gonna come in with a different one. And this time I'm gonna really sort of ball it up. and I'm not going to go over the same area. So it's just giving it a sort of mottled look. Coming into one of these, and I'm now going to go to some black. So I haven't got enough colours out on my mat. Again, I'm going to find a different bit, and I'm going to take quite a lot off this time, so I get more of that individual bubble look. And I'm going to go around the edge. So when I'm going back to reapply some paint, I'm only going to where I've spread it out. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with a little bit of the white. And just, again, going around the edge. I think that's going to need a word later. Right, happy with that one. And this one, I'm now going to wrap the bubble wrap around a curved surface, and I'm sort of going to roll it. Again, taking off quite a lot of the paint. And you get quite a nice. And again, I'm going to do the same with the white. The white might show up a little bit better. Sometimes the taking off of the paint is the more important bit, but I quite like that. Right, last one, the pink piece. Yeah, the pink piece is coming together nicely. Right, last one, I want, do I want 2, add fabric, we've done. Beads again, loaded dice. 6, we've done bubble wrap. 3, bottle cap. Right. Now, obviously with bottle cap, we could take our bottle caps and add them to some paint and use them to create circles. Should have another bottle cap, there is. And if you get different size bottle caps, you can put them inside each other. But you can also use the edge. Can you see that? So I've rolled it in, and you get the lovely ridge texture. Gives a really interesting look. Going to add a bit of white to that as well. It's almost like tyre tracks. So that's that one. Have all the blues got something on now? The blues have all got something on. So I want to come to using the bottle caps with our coloured ones. Now, I don't know how this is going to come out, but I noticed this is a bleach lid. So I wondered, might go on the black, it might show up better. See, it's actually taking the hand, so it's using it like a really funky stamp. So that's kind of cool. Again, it's going to have a nice, interesting texture on the side. Add a bit of orange to that. Bit of white. We haven't got any white on these ones. Again, we're going to go with the circles. I love a bit of circle. I love the fact that we just got random colours going on them. Just creates really interesting patterns. But the other thing I'd done, I'm just going to throw that bubble wrap out the way a minute, is I've taken one of my lids, I've put double-sided adhesive sheet on it, can you see, and I've stuck little squares of card to it. So I have created my own little background stamp. I'm going to do it in white, I think, because it will show up better for you guys. Tyre tracks from top. Well, I could... Oh, I can't get that lid off. I'm going to have to use the watery white. But to be fair, the lid hasn't been on it for a week, so it shouldn't be that watery. Could have tyre tracks from Tonka. Yeah, Lego wheels are really good, actually. But look how funky that stamp is. I don't want to go too much over. And that's just pieces of cardboard onto a lid, which gives you a handle to hold. I'm going to come into this one, adding some white to it. And a bit of black in there as well, just... this hasn't got anything else on it. So 2 more minutes like this, and I'm going to quickly, sorry, move that so you can see. But this is a nice way of using bottle caps. Make them into little stamps. Because if you don't like it, you can just throw it away, or you can keep it and use it for any other projects. And if you put them on the lids of things that you're going to use, it just keeps them. Add a bit of pink to that. Just gives interest to these backgrounds. Right, happy with that. So the other one we hadn't done was elastic bands. And all I was going to do was wrap elastic bands round and roll them, wrap them round acrylic blocks and things like that. Again, just to create more interest and more texture on top of these. Right, just going to move those to one side, quickly put the lids on some paints before I get covered. And I know I've wasted a bit of paint there, and that isn't like me. But if I had more time, I would just carry on with, I'd grab some scrap paper and all these things and just make marks all over some fabulous paper. Oh, there's my acrylic block with elastic bands wrapped around it. In fact, you know, and you can just stamp it like that, or you can sort of roll and smear and you know, it just gives joyous. And then you can flick, but I decided against flicking today because I've got a pretty top on, which has got paint on already. Throw that down there. Okay, put that all in there, paint away, because I need a fairly clean surface. So, washing up liquid. Say I would normally grab some paper and mop up, but time is against me because what are we on? Right, I've got 20 minutes to make a star book. I can do that. There we go, into there. Yeah, that's getting cleaner, honest. Right, mop it up. There we go. It's getting cleaner. This, to be fair, this cutting mat needs a soak in a cold bath. It revives them. This is a bit, you know, just give it a little scrub. There you go. See, they do come. This is why working on a surface like this, or your big acrylic, big acetate sheets or something like that. So it does pain me to be just cleaning this up. I would normally be mopping these up, but as I'm still working through 350 million paste papers, I really don't, you know, there's only so much space I can have. Right, let's get our papers and see where we're at. So that's now got additional paint on it. There we go. Right, so we've got that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one for one set, and then we've got our blue set, which are these ones, looking quite interesting. So let's do a little bit to these. I want to add some words now. Again, I limited time, so I found a songbook, and I just thought we could just nick some words from here. So we'll do a froggy, he would a wooing go. I know it makes absolutely no sense to what we're doing, but I just wanted some words on there. And if each one has a different nursery rhyme name on it, that might look quite cute. And then also this book has the most adorable little pictures, so I think I might actually add some of these little pictures to them as well. Didn't put any glue out. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly glue some of these down so that we've got ones to work with. But again, this is where you would come in with your sentiment stamps, or you know, but I just thought this would be quite fun. You know, any of your stamps, stencils, ephemera. So I'm just going to add. So we're going to tear the little froggy out. He's really cute. There's some of the pictures in here. I mean, you could do, if you had time, an image transfer on here so that you could use your parcel tape over the top and you know, lift it so that you would see some of that beautiful, you know, collage paper behind. But just for speed, we've got to have Humpty Dumpty, haven't we? Humpty Dumpty, Old Mother Hubbard, Yankee, no, I'm Yankee Doodle Dandy. I'm gonna cut Humpty Dumpty out because I think he could sit on that ribbon that we made, and then we'll just make it look like the wall. Okay, it's going to be the crudest cutting out. Might cut, oh, nearly cut his arms off. No wonder he fell off the wall, he'd got no arms. Okay. So these are I'm only going to do a couple of these just to give them a little bit of detail. And nursery rhymes are a fun one. So we're going to sit them on there, and then we'll take the words of Humpty Dumpty. And because I want to control it, use my thumb to guide. I could be inking these edges, but I am aware that the important bit is showing you how to make a star book. So, bit of glue. I might actually add the word a bit like just above the ribbon. I kind of like the fact he's falling off, so I might stick with that. Okay. I'm just giving this a little bit of a theme, but I say whatever you want. Oh, mermaid, that's quite nice. We've got a blue one. Yep, we've got a blue one. So we'll have the mermaid, which I don't know the song, but we'll have her sitting in the corner. Okay. Right. Here we go. So the mermaid. We'll have that up there. And obviously you can go and add more, like just, you know, for this one I might add some of these flowers. These are just backgrounds that are the start, but you might like them just as they are. And we showed last week how just framing them really made a difference. Two more. Ride a cork horse. Here we go around the mulberry bush, spider and the fly. Tom Tom the Piper's son. This little piggy went to market. No, can't do that. I had a little nut tree. We'll just. I could just leave the tree off the end, and I had a little nut. Or you could come in like I did many Facebook Lives ago, where I had my tray with all the individual letters in. You could just make, you know, a single word on each of these. I just want to show that these are a background that you can then, I'll just put that smack bang in the middle, because I really like that texture around there. It's just sort of very simple collage. And pins and needles, never heard of that one. There's some of these I've never heard of, but it is quite a nice little, I mean, there's little cute little pictures within it. So I'm just going to use the words here, because again, this, now that that's drying, are so interesting. It doesn't need much to make it into something. You know, cut them up into bits, put them behind a frame. I mean, that made such a difference last week. In fact, I still got one of my frames kicking about here. You know, they look like they're art, but in a fun, not thinking about it kind of way. You're very organic and letting it do what it wants to do. Okay, so I've got those ones. I'm not going to add anything to those blue ones. Right, let's start to make a star book. Now I am going to use double-sided adhesive for this, your double-sided tape. So for a star book, you need, generally I do 3 layers in my star books. So I have an inner layer, middle layer, and a sort of outer layer. The inner layer is the one that you generally see. So that these are going to be the inner layer. So what I have done to save on time, I have cut my card already. So I have got some white card, that's going to be my outer layer. It is longer than my black card, which is my inner layer, and then my coloured ones I've cut even shorter. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is fold everything in half in on itself, so the decorative things are on the inside. Obviously you will wait till all your glues and paints and everything are dry, but I've not got that luxury. Okay, so I'm just going to whip that along. So that's my inner layer, middle layer, okay, and there is no exact measurement for this. You can make this any size you want. Generally I make them all the same height that way, but in terms of length I just cut each layer slightly shorter than the previous one. Okay, white, okay, so just fold it all up. Right, and then depending how methodical you like to work, I put them in order. I get some double-sided tape and I open up my big one and I put some double-sided tape along the open edge. I peel the back off, take my middle one, line it up on the edge, okay, take another piece of double-sided tape, peel the back off, take my inner one and line up on that open edge. Okay, then close that one across and you just repeat going the other way. So bit of double-sided. Might be quicker with glue, but this will open instantly. Close it down. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat and only use a little bit of double-sided. You would do it all the way along. Okay, and that is the first section of your star book done. Okay, in fact, if I flick to that camera, so that's what each section's going to look like. Okay, so let's get some more layers going. Open it. Oh, that was badly folded. So it's just on the leading edge. Line up, leading edge, and you just repeat this with each section. Close it down. Bit of tape. Close it down. Bit of tape. Close it down. That's another section done. So once you get into a rhythm, it's nice and quick. Honestly, they are so easy once you know how. And the trouble is, a lot of people baffle you by doing measurements. Doesn't need to have measurements. Okay, and I'm wanting to show you a variation with the blue one in a minute, so I'm motoring here. If I don't get all 5 sections done, I'll finish it and show you tomorrow evening. Close it down when you get to the middle. And just doing it this way makes it so much easier. Another section. And when you start putting the sections together, they just look really cute. Okay, if I motor, we can get these done. So sometimes you can put the tape on beforehand, but it's easy to sort of lose track, or if you've got a tape runner, but a tape runner's got to be a good quality one so that you're getting a decent amount of adhesive on there. Don't tear this stuff, it sticks to your finger. Oh, it stuck to my finger again. Don't rush, don't rush, don't rush, don't rush. What's the saying? More haste, less speed, or whichever way round. Never remember which way round it is. I'm always convinced to say it wrong. Just be careful on the lining up as well. Now, sometimes you might want to add a ribbon to these so that they tie shut, and that is why I make all the sections individually and then join them together, because you're not having to worry about which order the sections go together. Build the sections first and then you can make it up into the book. Okay. With the blue one, I'm just looking at the time, I will do just one section and then finish it off and show you it later. So just lining those up. So you see, I'm doing 3 layers. You could do 2 layers, you could do 5 layers. These look really nice, opened right out. But you do, when you deciding how many sections you have to make it, it needs to be an odd number, because otherwise, if you want to have it open all the way round, if you have an even number, it can sag in the middle. It's really hard to explain that until you've seen it. Right, so there's all my sections. I'm going to switch to that one. because then it's just a case of deciding what order they go in, and I don't actually want the greens next to each other, so I'm going to go like that. I am going to end up with the green at start and end, but that's fine. And then all it is to join it all together is, again, a bit of tape on the end there, peel it off. Now just double check that you're getting these up the right way, okay, so the words are the right way up, and you can see it starts to create this lovely star. So quickly round, let me flip to that, just double check that's a green one, so I want a blue one, and 2 more bits of tape. So that one joins to there, that one joins on here. Then you can leave it so it's a book like that, and you can also join it all the way around so you get that lovely star book. So what I would do is put ribbon here and a ribbon there so it will tie, and then it will also tie shut like that. You can make a nice cover for it, but you get this fabulous book. And anybody spot what I did there? So where did that go wrong? Those two are up the wrong way, so fix it like that. So I'm going to come to there actually. There you go, fixed. It's all up the right way now. Do as I say, not as I do. Right, 2 minutes to quickly show you a variation on that. So here we have our other pieces. This time all my pieces are currently sitting at the same size, okay? They're all the same length. If I stack them, see, they're all the same length. So I'm only going to do one section to show you. I want my decorative one to be the inner side, so I'm going to leave that full length. But obviously I can't see that, so we need to play with it. Now I think I want white then black. So full size. This one I'm going to fold in half, and I'm going to take off a small amount from the end. Okay, and I'm also going to take out a section from the middle, from the folded side. Okay, so now I have a window. This one, fold it in half, and this time we need to take even more off. Okay, and we're going to cut a bigger window. So this is going to be a bit skinny, this one, but that's what we want. You will of course take more time on this than me. You could tear these windows. And now we've got our layers, but they're framed. So layer it up exactly the same way. So tape on the first one. Take this one, line it up for the edge, take your tape, right on the edge, line it up on the edge. You can see what's happening. Okay, bit of tape, so close your middle down just as you did before. So this gives us sort of a more arty look. And you can really play with your windows. Say they could be torn layers. They could be, you know, scenery. They could be layers of scenery. They could have die cuts on them. Just remember that in order to see through, your smallest piece has to have the biggest window. It's the easiest way to remember. But how cool does that look? It's such a different look. It's got that depth, it's got that, and it's drawing the eye in, and it's really framing off these ones that, you know, we haven't done anything extra to. So that's an alternative way of doing a star book. So you've got the traditional, and then you've got the sort of more funky. A nice thing to use for your star books is actually your pre-bought card blanks, because they're obviously already folded. So if you've got an excess of card blanks, even if they're in colours you don't necessarily like, use those, and then just, again, once it's folded, when you folded it and your card blanks folded, just take a slither off there. And all you need to remember is the middle layer has less of a slither. So just take a slither off that one, and then the next one you take a bigger slither off, and that gives you your different layers. You don't have to measure them. And if you're using shop bought card blanks, it's giving you that base straight away. So that was what I wanted. No, it's a really nice alternative to a star book. And I just, again, I love this framing idea, because it does take our, you know, our no thought about random backgrounds and make them into like little abstract pieces of art. I mean, I absolutely love that. That in a frame, I would just, you know, I'd be so proud of. And that's that kind of idea. So I will get those finished. I say tomorrow I'm out and about at a Fab School event, and helping out with some kids with additional needs tomorrow to do crazy golf and archery and stuff, so that'll be fun. So I'll get it done tomorrow evening and get it finished up and photographed so you can see that one finished. I'll probably make a cover for this one and possibly do all the taping and everything, but you get the idea of how that looks. And this is what I was saying about an odd number. If you have an odd number, it will hang like that if you want it to. If you have an even number, that middle bit sags down. So there you go, that's a star book. Right, dates. I'm losing track because we're nearly halfway through July already. So Tuesday, 1 o'clock, I'm craft o'clocking with Adam. Hopefully we can link to this system and I can do all my things. Otherwise it will just be an interviewee type thing, because I will be introducing what I'm going to be doing on the 17th at Hobbymaker. Can't remember the time off the top of my head. But also Paul has a very, very exciting trip on Tuesday, which I can't, Humpty Dumpty, yeah, love Humpty Dumpty, can't wait to share with you. But if you like stamps, it is super, super exciting, and lovely as well. So yeah, he's on a mission on Tuesday while I'm doing craft o'clock, and it's going to give us so much stuff to play with. In the meantime, stay cool, because it's going to be another scorcher, and just I will see you at some point in between that. So yes, I'll still do Facebook Live at 7 next Wednesday, but Tuesday 1 o'clock on Hobbymaker and Adam's Facebook for craft o'clock, and then Thursday at Hobbymaker, and hopefully we'll have lots of exciting things to tell you. But in the meantime, have fun, get making, keep sharing. I absolutely love that you're sharing everything. It's brilliant. It's so inspiring for everybody. And just take care, and I will see you next week. Have fun.